Mic check, mic check. What's kicking, family? I'm glad you've clicked in so I can check in with you. What's going on, y'all? I hope you're good just like I am. Well, what I want to kick it about today is that, very interestingly, running around, had the TV on, getting ready to jet out the house. Next thing you know, Mike and Mike is talking about an article in the USA Today talking about they should strip Barry Bonds of his records. I'm like, incredible. As you already know, Barry Bonds was on trial by the federal government, and he was convicted of one count of obstruction of justice. And now, what gets me is I heard a lawyer come on the radio and say, obstruction of justice? How did Barry Bonds obstruct the justice of the government when they had got Balco, convicted them, and busted them up? Think about it. Obstruction of justice, which means that you hindered the job of the government to go after something that was illegal. And his testimony didn't stop the wheels from turning from the government from getting Balco. Think about it. All right. So now they've been trying to get Barry Bonds, and they had to drop several counts against him, and they only came up with the one count. And of course, that's going to go into appeal. That's going to be fighting for a while. He has the money that he can do that, because the man made gobs amount of money in the last 5 years of the contract that he had. And so it's not like they're going to break him. Most likely they're trying to embarrass him. And then on top of that, now you have the article in the USA Today in which they were chirping about on ESPN. My opinion, don't y'all have better things to do? First of all, let's look at the Barry Bonds thing where you remove his records. Now you're trying to get like the NCAA. The NCAA has stricken championships, taken away wins in football and basketball. What did he do to Calipari? Right? Some of his stuff has been stricken from the record books, so you won't be able to see any of those accomplishments in there. I had a football team on the top of my head where they had them vacate a couple of wins, and I think a bowl win. If you guys out there know of any of those, please leave it in the comments below about vacated titles and wins of NCAA men's football. Now, getting right back. Okay, the phone's chirping. I'll answer that in a second. I think that's a text. I'm talking to you guys right now. Okay, getting back to Barry Bonds. I just don't think it's a total joke. First of all, if you're going to do Bonds, you're going to have to do everybody. Now, how are you going to do everybody? I mean, remember what David Ortiz had said. If you get caught with the steroids, you need to get banned. Hello. Him and a couple of other members of his crew, when they won that chip, was juicing. Okay? And he's still in baseball. He's still doing a few things. Now, this baseball writer is talking about striking records. There'll be a whole bunch of blank spots. Personally, I don't care. I don't care. Just the game itself. First of all, Bonds didn't do nothing but hurt himself. Second of all, do you have the smoking gun? The only smoking gun they had was Anderson. And Anderson was the man who could put the nail in the proverbial prosecution's coffin if he had testified. No, he didn't testify. So my opinion, whether he was juicing or not, is irrelevant to the amount of records that he had accomplished. I'm going to tell you the truth. In my opinion, I think he was juicing. I can't say definitively because there's no positive drug test. See, that's the key thing here. Positive drug test. Regardless of the public opinion, it's not fact. It's not a fact. The fact is, do you have a positive drug test? They say they've got one from that sample batch, but was it admissible in court? See, there's a whole bunch of tricky stuff going on there. So right about now, him juicing, him not juicing, I don't care. He's the home run king. He's got it. Hey, what can you do? There's a whole era of juiced up baseball players. All right? You go after Bonds. You're going to have to go after McGuire. You're going to have to go after several ball players from that era who have significant milestones. And then you're doing a disservice to the rest of the league because you've only grabbed a handful that okay, probably came up positive on the Mitchell report. But was the Mitchell report admissible in court as far as the positive drug tests? They weren't supposed to be, the drug tests weren't supposed to be leaked out, but it got leaked out. See what's going on there? There's a whole tangled web. Then once they start, going along, it's going to get messed up there. So I think it's just a witch hunt by a lot of these writers and stuff. They taking it personal. It's just a game. Come on. Did he do X, Y, and Z inside the confines of the playing field? Did he do that? Plain and simple. If he did and he got the record, so be it. Now it's getting into a little personal thing. Also, what I think also is that he's almost like he's the modern era of Eddie Murray. Now, Eddie Murray, a Baltimore Oriole, outstanding ball player from both sides of the plate. And I think he's got the most home runs for a switch hitter or something like that from both sides of something like that. He's got a very unique record. Eddie Murray didn't talk to the press. Didn't talk to him. Went about his game every day. And from that, a lot of writers couldn't stand him because he wouldn't talk to them. Same thing can be said of Barry Bonds. Didn't want to talk to him. They got upset. They had a hair up there, boop, so they went after him. You had the guy Nowitzki chasing Bonds because they said he thought that, and the whole investigation started because of tax evasion on the memorabilia signings and stuff like that. So he was looking for something to get him. You see the pattern here? Look at it closely. Look at it closely. Well, this is what I have seen. So the bottom line is, if you're trying to strike the records of Barry Bonds, then let's do this. Let's strike the records of all of Major League Baseball up to the day when Barry Bonds came in the league. Let's see what your numbers look like then. Everybody. Because if you're going to have to do Barry, you're going to have to do everybody in that era. Everybody in that era. Plain and simple. Not just one person. Because there were a lot of other people involved in juicing. All right? Leave a comment. This is Mr. Batch. Peace.